What are the biggest stories that are not Flames or Canucks related that are of the season so far? What are some of the things that was like, wow, this is a kind of some of your big stories?
Minnesota. I think how well Minnesota has done in this first. I don't want to say half, but within this first little bit. Well, not a little bit. From the beginning of the season till now, Minnesota has surprised me. That top line of Kaprizov, Hartman, and who centered that line? It's not Joel
Hartman.
Eriksson. Oh, is it Hartman? And is
It's
Zuccarello's
Hartman.
on the right on
Yeah.
the right there? Yeah.
Yeah.
They've definitely surprised me. Your boy Kevin Talbot has done very, very well. And I think that they deserve a lot more credit within the NHL realm than what they have been getting. Because as of right now, they are sitting third in the Central with games in hand. They're 6 games back of Nashville, who's second in the Central, and 4 games back of Colorado, who's first in the Central. They do have St. Louis and Dallas kind of nipping at their heels a little bit. But I think that they're noteworthy story within what is happening in the NHL.
You mentioned a team in there that's a story for me is Nashville too. Who had Nashville being right in the mix for in the Central? No one. Everyone thought it'd be Winnipeg, right? So that Nashville's one. What we talked about earlier about potentially losing a player for nothing. Philip Forsberg's a UFA at the end of the season. What happens there? And then Minnesota. Ryan Hartman's having one hell of a season, and no one's talking about it. Like everyone was talking about how Minnesota needed a first line center, and Ryan Hartman has 18 goals and 33 points in 40 games. I still think they would be really smart to add, to try and go out and add another center and build some depth in there, because Eriksson Ek's really good, but after that their center depth falls off real quick. And then they've called up Matt Boldy, who's got 9 points in 9 games.
So you picked him up on in our fantasy.
Yes. Second time I've done it too.
Well, you're currently losing to at Gordhouse09.
Yeah, I know. For now. But yeah, like Minnesota's been really good this year. And I'm trying to think of what you've got. What haven't we talked about?
I'm going to jump in and talk about since we went positive, I'm going to go negative here. Winnipeg. What the fuck is Winnipeg doing? Holy, what a dumpster fire they are. And Blake Wheeler at 35, he is absolutely just shit in the bed this year. The only bright spot on that team is Kyle Connor. That is the only bright spot on that team. And even squinting, I feel so bad for him. Fall from grace from Mark Scheifele, fall from grace from Neil Pionk. I think that I had higher aspirations for him. Clutterbuck, or not. Oh my God,
Connor Hellebuck.
Thank you. Hellebuck, he's not a Vezina winning goaltender as of right now. I don't know what they do there. What direction are they going to go? I think this trade deadline is going to be interesting for them, because they're going to have GMs calling them shovel day off, asking what the fuck is happening with you guys. Can I steal X player out of there, and maybe at a price where they're not really worth it this year, but they have the track record as far as the player goes to help them in the long term, because there's a lot of contracts that are left on this team. You have Nate Schmidt for another 3 years at just under 6. Yeah, same with Neil Pionk. Josh Morrissey is signed until the end of 27-28. Blake Wheeler for 2 more years at just a hair over $8 million. Kyle Connor, enough said, and Mark Scheifele another 2 years after this at a bit over 6 as well. it's a dumpster fire and they need to do something. They need to have a direction. It's going to be hard to sell that to the fans and to the people who are going to be paying tickets to see them of what direction they need to go, because I truly believe they need to retool or rebuild around Kyle Connor.
They also have Nick Ehlers for another 3 years at $6 million, who is someone I would be making sure they build around as well. Totally. They've got Cole Perfetti coming up. He's played 12 games, so he's burnt his first year of his ELC this year. They've got Pierre-Luc Dubois needs a new deal, and he's actually been, I'd say he's been a bright spot for them this year as well. But it's that blue line just has not worked. And then they've got Paul Stastny and Andrew Kopp as UFAs for this season, this upcoming summer. And I bet you teams will be calling for Andrew Kopp.
Oh yeah, he'll get a pay raise.
And I look at it. They've got there are some players in there some younger players. They got Ville Heinola, who's only 20, coming up, and he's played a few games this year. He's played 4, but maybe it's time they do look at. But yeah, who's picking up what? Like, who would be willing to take on? Like, Canucks picked up Nate Schmidt for a third and then swapped him to the Jets for a third. Pionk hasn't played up to snuff. Brendan Dillon's at 3.9 for another 2 years, and is he still worth that? That's a big question. Dylan DeMello at 3. He's just injured. So I know, there's that. There could, I don't think anything happens during the season, but I wonder if there is a major trade coming out of Winnipeg in the offseason.
And I wonder if it's 55.
Yeah, maybe. Scheifele.
Maybe.
One other team.
Sorry, I don't know players' numbers, so.
One other team, since we're kind of going east to west here, or west to east, is the Philadelphia Flyers. Where are they going? How are they getting there? And what there's been a lot of trade talks in the past even 4 years about Travis Konechny. I wonder if that shoe finally drops here. Maybe not in season, but in the off season. Claude Giroux, he's a UFA at the end of the year. Will he trade, or will he want a chance to win a cup potentially by getting traded at the trade deadline? What is Carter Hart? Who is Carter Hart? And where the hell is he? He's better than he was last year, but he's not the guy that Philadelphia wants him to be. And I just don't know. I'd swear they need a direction here, because it doesn't seem like they really know. I don't think Rasmus Ristolainen was a great pickup there. They paid a lot for him, and he is what he is. He is what he was in Buffalo, and it's not good.
I'll disagree with you on one thing that you said there, Dev. Carter Hart is still a fucking good goaltender. He's just behind a tire fire of a team.
Well, but that's the thing though, right? You need to surround him with for success. He's still a damn good goalie, but right now it doesn't matter how good you are. you could be a fucking amazing player, but it doesn't matter if you're not surrounded by.
Yeah, and that's the point. Is what's going on in Philadelphia is not Carter Hart's problem, or he's not the problem.
They're thinking that he should be the solution though.
It's hockey. Hockey is not teams are not made or broken by one player, even if it's a goaltender. You need to have a good blue line in front of him. Just ask Connor Hellebuyck. We just talked about it. Like, he can only do so much too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they haven't drafted well. They are, I mentioned that they were a lot like the Flames last year in terms of this dysfunction and needed a shakeup. And I still think that, but there's also some Oiler in them where they just think that they're better than they are. And man, just yeah, I mean, it's not Carter Hart in one sense. It's not Carter Hart, but like there's not a lot of talent in Philadelphia. Like the Cam Atkinson for Jacob Voracek trade, that was a trade, but it didn't improve their team. It was a trade. The Nolan Patrick, the Nolan Patrick draft pick didn't work out. I mean, there's some revisionist history from Barbie Clark around that.
And they haven't really been able to see what Ryan Ellis is as a Flyer. He's been injured for basically the whole season.
Yeah.
So that's a big piece. A big piece of that in terms of a bit of an unknown there.
Especially at that cap hit at 6.25 and he's 31 and they signed until the end of 26, 27.
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's a lot of cap here. And especially with Cam Atkinson, I mean, like Kev, you said it, that's a trade. They did that. And it's more so, I think, a salary dump per year, not for how many years left, because I believe Voracek has 2 more years at 8, when Atkinson is a bit under 6 for another 3 years. So, yeah, they need a direction, and right now they don't have it.
Well,
and yeah, they also have Kevin Hayes signed long term. It's over $7 million. They've got a lot of, and Farabee's got a new long term $5 million contract that starts next year as well. That's what's interesting with going into this offseason for those two teams specifically, is they've got a lot of money locked up long term.